Poltergeist, 1982, directed by Tobe Hooper and produced by Steven Spielberg, is a supernatural horror film that has stood the test of time as one of the most iconic films of the genre. The story centers around the Freeling family, who live in a quiet suburban home in California. Their lives take a dark turn when strange and terrifying events begin to occur in their house, centered around their youngest daughter, Carol Ann, Heather O'Rourke, who becomes the target of a malevolent force. The plot kicks off when Carol Ann is mysteriously drawn into the television set by an unseen entity, leading her parents, Steve, Craig T. Nelson, and Diane, Jo Beth Williams, to seek help from paranormal experts. These experts, including the psychic Tangina, Zelda Rubinstein, help the family confront the powerful spirit and navigate the dangers of the supernatural forces plaguing their home. Poltergeist is a film that blends family drama with supernatural horror. The relationship between the Freeling family feels grounded and relatable, which makes the paranormal events that much more unsettling. The characters' emotions, particularly the parents' desperation to save their daughter, create a sense of empathy that heightens the film's tension. The movie also explores themes of suburban life and the fragility of the American dream. The Freelings live in a perfect suburban neighborhood, which is meant to represent safety and stability. However, this seemingly ideal setting is disrupted by forces beyond their control, emphasizing the vulnerability that exists even in the most peaceful of environments. This theme of suburban horror is also reflected in other films of the time, like The Amityville Horror, 1979, and The Shining, 1980, which also portrayed the breakdown of the American family unit through supernatural forces. A major element that makes Poltergeist stand out is its stunning special effects. The film was groundbreaking for its time, with innovative and creepy sequences, such as the tree attack, the clown doll sequence, and of course, the famous scene with the TV. The use of practical effects and minimal CGI made the supernatural events feel tangible and real. These moments remain as some of the most memorable in horror history. The performances of the cast are also key to the film's success. Craig T. Nelson and Jo Beth Williams bring a sense of realism to their roles as parents, making the family's situation feel more authentic. Heather O'Rourke's portrayal of Carol Ann is chilling in its innocence, and Zelda Rubinstein's portrayal of the psychic Tangina is iconic, providing some of the film's most quotable lines. One of the most fascinating aspects of Poltergeist is the discussion around its supposed curse. There are several rumors surrounding the production, particularly the tragic deaths of cast members like Heather O'Rourke, who passed away shortly after filming, and Dominique Dunne, who was murdered a few years after the film's release. While there's no definitive proof of a curse, the eerie coincidences have added to the mystique of the film. Poltergeist is a cornerstone of the 1980s horror genre, and its influence can still be seen in films today. Similar films from the same era, such as The Amityville Horror, The Changeling, 1980, and even later films like Insidious, 2010, and The Conjuring, 2013, all owe a debt to Poltergeist in terms of blending supernatural horror with grounded family drama. While Poltergeist is undoubtedly a horror film, it also explores deeper emotional and psychological themes. The film isn't just about scares, it's about the love and connection between the family members, particularly the bond between parent and child. It taps into the fear of losing someone you love and the lengths one will go to in order to protect them, even from forces that seem impossible to understand or control. The film's impact on pop culture cannot be overstated. The phrase, "they're here," has become ingrained in the lexicon of horror fans, and the film's legacy continues to influence filmmakers and audiences alike. It spawned two sequels, Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, 1986, and Poltergeist 3, 1988, neither of which could quite live up to the original. The film was also remade in 2015, though it didn't have the same cultural impact as the 1982 classic. In terms of the cast, Craig T. Nelson's career spanned across television and film, with notable roles in shows like Coach, 1989 to 1997, and Parenthood, 2010 to 2015. Jo Beth Williams had a long and successful career in both television and film, known for roles in The Big Chill, 1983. and Kramer vs. Kramer, 1979. Heather O'Rourke tragically passed away at a young age, leaving behind an indelible legacy in horror cinema. Zelda Rubinstein is remembered for her work in Poltergeist, as well as her later roles in films like Teen Witch, 1989, and TV shows like Picket Fences, 1992 to 1996. Conclusion: Poltergeist remains one of the most influential and enduring horror films in cinema history. It's a movie that blends supernatural terror with deep emotional resonance, exploring themes of family, loss, and the American dream. With its groundbreaking effects, memorable performances, and haunting visuals, it has cemented its place as a classic, and it continues to shape the horror genre today.